and watch with us as we make our bags. So, we each have our own t-shirt here. As you guys can see, I'm going to be working with this extra large t-shirt, which was left over from our Bats and Brews program. Shout out to NJ Batman at the Wildlife Conservation Center and Brick City Brewing. Brick City is still delivering if anyone is looking for a drink. Please support your local businesses and make a donation to NJ Batman or Teaneck Creek. Anyway, shameless plug. Here is our t-shirt that we're going to be working on today. The bigger the t-shirt, the bigger the bag. So if you have a smaller t-shirt, just keep that in mind. I'm trying to use a larger one so that way we have some more space for goodies, which is the best. We can use less bags with bigger t-shirts. So you're going to need for this project some scissors and a t-shirt, and that's it. So this is a really simple, low supply, low cost kind of project to make your own bag. The first thing you're going to do is cut the sleeves off of your bag. You can follow the seam if you'd like, or you can make the hole even bigger. Where the sleeves had been will be the armholes of your bag so that you can carry it, the handles. And so it might not come out exactly beautiful and nice. You can see my rigid cuts. You can go back and trim it up, make it as pretty as you'd like. This is a no-sew technique, so you don't have to have any sewing abilities or anything like that, but if you wanted to hem something to make it prettier, by all means, that's up to you. So we're gonna take off both sleeves here, and I'm just doing it right to where the armpit of the sleeve is. Again, if you wanted bigger handles, you could make this longer. Or if you have one of those drop armpit kind of sleeves, if it was a tank top already, then you'll have just bigger armholes. The next thing you're going to do is to make the opening for your bag, we're going to be using the neck of our t-shirt. So if you have a design like this, you may cut into it. So I will be cutting into the design, but you can decide for yourself how big you want that piece to be, and then you can cut accordingly.
And are we going to be cutting through both sides of the t-shirt or just one?
We are cutting through both sides. So you're going to keep cutting through the seam down the back. You want your opening to be equal on both ends. Great question. Thank you, Allie. You will need kind of sharp scissors for this. It is a little tricky to cut fabric with regular office scissors like we're doing, so don't mind the crude cuts. Cool. So now the last cut we're going to be making right here is the hem on the bottom here. You can leave this on, although I find it harder to do this next piece with. And also if you do cut it off, you can save the hem to act as a tie if you want to make that as an option as well. So you can cut the bottom hem off here, just straight across, right across the top of the hem. Through both sides, obviously, cutting it completely off.
And I see we have a couple people live with us. If you guys have any questions as we go along or want to show your own shirt as you make it, feel free to share. We'd love to see them.
Okay, so this is probably going to be the most time-consuming part of the project. What we're going to be doing is cutting strips from the very end. So you're going to want to cut up the hem on the sides of your t-shirt, the edge right here, on both sides. You're going to cut up a few inches. This is probably about 2.5 inches up the sides.
So is this tall enough or a little more?
You can probably go a little bit more. The more you cut up the sides, the more you're going to have to work with. We're going to be tying knots. So if you want to have a little bit more that's easier for you to tie, that's totally fine. You do lose a little bit of bag space, but not a big deal with your bigger t-shirts. And again, I'm just cutting up the side on this side as well. Okay. So now, the next step when you have both hems on the sides cut, make sure they're a little on the even side. Cut up this one a little bit more. Okay. You're going to then start cutting strips into the bottom of your bag and t-shirt. So every few inches, you're going to cut through both sides so that they're even, and then you're going to cut them just a few strips so they're large enough all the way across. So I will demonstrate. Right up to that initial cut that you had made as kind of your guide. You can make these thin, wide, give it some variety if you want. These are going to be what holds the bottom of your bag together. You just want to make sure that you have matching pieces. That's why you're cutting through both sides, because we're going to be tying these strings together. So it is important that they have a pair.
This looks like how you would make your shirt if you're going to a concert right now.
Right, or you can just change this directly into what you wear to Coachella or
to your next trash cleanup.
Yes, or exactly. This part does take a little bit of time, so I know this isn't the most exciting part, just watching us cut strips of fabric, but I promise we're getting to the good stuff. Yes, this is definitely one of those distressed looks if you're going for that. If you wanted to wear this shirt after the fact. Very on trend.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Wait for Alan to catch up. That's okay. I think everyone at home, if you're following along, you might need some time to catch up too. So I will wait for you guys. No problem. And you can see my cuts are not even equal. They're fine. You just want to make sure that you have, like I said, a match for each string from the back to the front.
Almost there.
It's okay.
And if I were to do this again, I think I would actually I'd use definitely fabric scissors, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
It would definitely help.
Okay. So while it gets to the very end, so now there are two options of what we can do at this point. If you want a fringe look on the bottom of your bag, you can leave the t-shirt right side out. I prefer not to have that. So what I'm going to do is turn my shirt inside out. now your design will be on the inside of your bag. Okay. All right. Doesn't matter if you're on the front or the back of your shirt at this point. And what you're going to do across the entire bottom of your t-shirt is you are going to tie knots. So you can see how I said that they're going to have those matching pieces. Well, what we're going to do is you can stretch them out. It might make it a little bit easier too to kind of tie. It's good for knotting. You're going to take this and you're going to make tight knots across the bottom. And when you do tie them directly across to each other to create that bottom, you're going to notice there will be some little holes, right? So you can even take some of the leftovers from the knot prior and tie that into the next set of knots, because you don't want to have any of your goodies falling out of the bottom of your bag. That's not what we use bags for, obviously. And the inside of this is going to kind of look a little bit like a complete mess, which is fine. This is just to make the bottom of our bag, and this is going to be on the inside if you do it this way. If not, you're going to have some fringe of work going on the bottom. And then the other point to note is that the bag at the bottom will start to cinch. So you're going to notice that as you pull more and more and get tighter and tighter on the bottom, you're going to be losing kind of the width of the t-shirt because you're pulling all of the fabric together, which is totally fine. You want that too. It's going to cinch the bottom of the bag and kind of create a better shape for it and also close up any holes. So we want that. So we're going to tie all the way across, nice and tight. You can do double knots throughout all of this too to make sure that anything that you had been tying is tight across. We would love to see your bags when you're done. We hope you use them when you go shopping.
I love this because it's double recycling. Not only are you reusing a shirt that you don't want, but then you're also eliminating and needing to, first of all, buy a reusable bag, which would then have to be made, and then also no more plastic use. So.
Exactly. This is definitely upcycling at its finest. And you get to show off some cool t-shirts that you have, like Bats and Brews and the Clean Water Challenge, to promote any of the things that you love. Much more personalized.
That's great.
Maybe it's a t-shirt you outgrew or something like that. Would be a great way to kind of save those pieces.
Yeah, that's a great idea for kids' shirts even. Ones that they just no longer fit in, but maybe have a sentimental value and you're just not ready to let go of.
And make it into a bag and keep it around. I'm getting towards the end of mine here. Just a few more strips to go. So we are tying these all up. I'm pretty much at the end of mine here. This seems to be my last. Oh, I have one more. Here we go. This is my last two strings right here. So I'm going to tie these two together. And the final one, just as a double knot. Make sure we're nice and tight. All right. So you're going to see that the bottom, when it's inside out, has all this fringe. If you wanted that to be the outside, it's super cute too and on trend. So you could leave that if you had done it with your shirt outside out instead of inside out. But now, when we turn our bag back, right side out, you'll see, I missed a string. I'm just gonna tuck it out. But, bottom of the bag is cinched, and you have a great reusable tote. It's pretty big, you can put whatever you want in there. You can use your scraps that you have left over, like I said, the hem to poke a hole if you wanted so it can tie shut. You can use it to cinch the edges of the bag, like the handles. Make that cute, maybe with a bow. Whatever you wanted to do to make it completely yours. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial video of how to make a reusable t-shirt bag. We will be back tomorrow with a pre-recorded video and on Thursday with another live with Allie. So make sure that you are checking us out and staying up to date with us on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and on our website. We look forward to seeing you soon and hope everyone's doing well. Thank you.